And I checked with both of you. You both have not had any stories from Los Angeles, so this is mine. This is one with the most detail I've probably presented in a story.
Oh,
And the
good.
actual beginning of the story happens back in 2019. So this is a
Okay.
long time
I'll allow it
because
Okay.
because I mean it depends
I'll
when the
allow it.
person dies, but let's hear it.
this has to do with a man who ventured to the United States 75 years ago, and he started a little business doing motels and hotels. And after he finally got a citizenship and he'd been around a while, and on his 75th birthday back in October 2019, his kids got together and bought him a nice Rolex watch. One
That's
that's
Oh, a
nice.
real
valued,
Rolex?
yes, close to $20,000 value.
He must have been a successful man.
Yes, he was. He was. His family was proud of him. So, a few days later, after he was given the watch, he was assaulted, him and his wife, in the street, and they beat him. And he was 75 years old.
This is terrible already. You got
This
a,
is-
a,
They
a great
took his-
story, a great immigrant.
Let me continue, please.
And then
Okay.
he gets beaten in the streets for his
Could
He gets
Rolex.
beaten in
Rolex.
the street.
Fine.
All right, and they take his Rolex watch, and this thief who took the Rolex watch took it to a pawn shop to sell it. Now,
Mm,
since it was in high value, the pawn shop takes his fingerprint, and they took his fingerprint when he sold it.
smart. I love that.
So they tracked down eventually this Rolex watch almost a year and a half later, in January 2021, and they find out that it's still there in there, and they have the fingerprint. So the police matched the fingerprint with the.
Wait, did the guy die in the beating?
No, he did not die.
Okay.
Him and his wife got severely injured, but they didn't die.
Okay, and he's what now? 77?
Yes, and he still wants that watch back.
Of course.
yeah.
It's a gift, man. It's a family
Right.
heirloom at this point.
That's exactly what I'm reading right now. It was going to be a start of our family heirloom tradition.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Until they give it to one of
So-
the grandkids and they sell it for drugs. But go on.
So this man, they tracked down the guy his name's Robert, the guy who stole this watch and beat these older people. They tracked him down through the Mr. Steve's pawn shop where he sold it, and they put his name in the police system and found him. And on January 27th, the members of the LAPD attempted to arrest Mr. Robert at his apartment on the 5th floor of Sunset Boulevard. So he heard the police officers coming, so he decided he's going to slip out the back, sliding onto the balcony.
So he's obviously a bad dude. If he committed this crime with some people a while ago, a year ago, and you're still on edge, I think I hear police coming. You've probably
He's
been doing
probably
some other
always
terrible
on
things.
edge, right? I mean,
He beat an old man and his wife. You know, this is a bad person.
well, his neighbors also saw him exiting through the sliding door to a balcony, and he started climbing down the balcony. And he got down a couple floors, but then he lost his grip as he was climbing down and fell all the way down and broke his legs on the ground.
That's wonderful.
Amazing. That's beautiful.
The police took him to the
You gotta
hospital.
you gotta be a different level of stupid to like. Okay, I'm gonna sell this at a pawn shop. He could have sold it online, but take your fingerprint.
It's got to be
Yeah,
drugs.
well,
I'm like,
obviously, yeah.
Did-
maybe I'm gonna second think.
Did he die in the fall itself?
He died at the hospital later.
But he did not die in the fall. He just broke his legs and it was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, and was unconscious
Oh,
when.
Good.
Oh, he went unconscious. That sucks. It's just
Yeah.
wish he
we
would've
want to
stayed
be alive
conscious.
a little bit.
I wanted to be more
Yeah,
conscious.
Sorry,
Yeah.
no. A few hours later, he died in the hospital. Pronounced.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure his
poor
family
guy.
was there.
Poor guy.
The pawn shop didn't actually want to give the watch back, by the way.
Of course not. They paid the guy for it.
But after lots of disputes and things, they eventually gave the watch back.
There's got to be some kind of insurance or pawn shops, right? If they take stolen property that's not stolen,
There
and they have to
is
give it
certain
back.
states have certain things, but California's not one of them. So
Of course, California's not one of them. California is the stupidest state out there.
Well, I mean, look, let's not pretend that the pawn shop was like, hey, look, this druggie has a Rolex. It's definitely not
you're
stolen.
totally-
they know it
You're
is.
totally right. No one's gonna take a Rolex
yeah,
to a pawn shop.
And if they
Maybe
do,
Mr.
they
Steve's
probably
pawn
don't
shop?
look like Robert looked. They probably, I mean, nobody's just walking around with a Rolex.
Well, what did Robert look like, Joe?
I
I'm
don't
sure he
have a
looked like
picture
a
of Robert.
thug and a bum. I'm
looks-
sure
he
he
looks
did.
dead now.
He's dead now.
He's
He
dead
looks
now.
dead.
It doesn't even matter.
Well, it wasn't quite the. It was a good heartwarming story. You know, get to watch back in the.
You know, the
end.
mafia
Oh,
didn't
that's
have to
true.
break his
Guy,
legs. He did it
karma.
to himself.